What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 98. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Phaneckswhy,
He said
Bryant,
it. Yeah, his name is Mike.
Hello.
and Ash Destroyum.
Yo, what up, guys?
We don't have a lot to talk about today because there wasn't much this week, and we're probably going to have a shorter podcast because I got to continue playing Pokemon trading card game. I've actually got addicted to that. I started playing that on the Nintendo Switch Online, and I forgot how good it is. Even though it doesn't play by the modern rules, which I could care less, the game itself is actually pretty fun. I'm actually enjoying it. I remember playing it years ago where you had to collect like the medals, which are basically like the gym badges in that game, and you get the legendary Pokemon cards. And I don't remember how rare it is to get Mew in that game, but I have Mew already as a Pokemon card. So like I don't know if he was super rare or he was common. But all I know is I have Mew, and that has helped me out a lot because he has like his attack, which is I think Psybeam, or it might be something else. He has an attack that, depending on how much energy your opponent's cards has, he does the normal damage times the amount of energy that the other person's cards have. So really, really strong, but fun nonetheless. Been enjoying that. So yeah, let's talk about what we've been playing. Let's start off with you, Ash. What have you been playing?
I'm still going through Mario Super Mario RPG. It's been like a bit 3 to 4 days since I last played it. I think no, actually, yeah, 2 to 3 days ago and stuff. And I'm like almost done with it. Um, we're already at Bowser's Keep, trying to get the last star and everything. So I think pretty much after that, then it's gonna be pretty much be almost done. I'm like maybe 80% away through with the game.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize how easy the game is. I even fought Jay, which is like the guy that's head of the dojo in Monster Village, which that was fun. I think that was the most fun I had when it comes to fighting, doing a boss fight, because he was actually powerful. So I was curious to see if he was the actual end game boss, and I beat him pretty easily. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully there's somebody stronger than him. But I love that whole little side quest thing. It was funny because like once you beat him like 3 to 4 times, he makes Mario as master, and then when you come back and go back into the dojo, both the Koopa and Jay just keep doing like Mario jumps as reps and stuff continuously.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, they're never gonna skip freaking leg day, bro. It was great, but like, I love that.
Those fights are so tough.
To me there weren't. I mean, I don't know. I think it was. I think what it was is that like the difficulty is just not as high unless you don't know how to time your attacks or something like that. Because the highest amount of super jumps I was able to pull off with Mario, my record was like around 50-ish or something like that. 50 super jumps. So it wasn't it wasn't too difficult. I saw somebody on Twitter when the game first came out that was able to like max it out up to like 99, which is nuts. And he did that on the final boss and stuff, which is cool. So, but once I'm done with Super Mario RPG, I'm going straight back into Elden Ring, trying to finish up like at least one playthrough. And then after that, I might try to finish the other playthroughs on Elden Ring, just clear all the base content, and then go into the Shadow of the Earth Tree, and then after that, don't be touching any other RPGs for a good bit. Honestly, I just need to cover all the games I already have that are not RPGs and stuff, and move on with other things and stuff. So, but yeah, that's it about me, if anything.
Nice. What about you, Fan? Have you been playing anything?
The only thing I played recently was Tunic.
Tunic?
Yeah.
Gotcha. You been playing on Steam Deck or
Yeah, I was doing on the RG Ally.
RG Ally? How far are you into the game?
Not too far, just because there's really no instructions with that game.
Yeah, there is.
You're in a different language.
Yeah, it's literally in a different language, like runes. There's no instructions, so you kind of just wander around. So
I actually like that. I actually like that. I might pick it up. I like things like that. It's kind of realistic in a sense, if that makes sense.
It's like Dark Souls meets like Zelda. It's like a blend between the two, which is kind of cool. I like the instruction manuals. How they're almost like old like NES slash like SNES.
They look like Zelda.
Yeah, like Zelda
nice.
pamphlets, which are really really cool. It's a game that I played it on the Game Pass when it first came out, and I've been wanting to play it on PC because I felt like handheld would be the best way to go about and play it. I just never bought it on Steam. I was gonna buy it also on Switch because I felt like, it'll feel at home on the Switch, but they would pick it up on Steam because it'll probably be a lot cheaper than in Switch. For
Yeah, I
sure.
bought it when it was on sale, so it wasn't that expensive.
How much?
I think it was like half off.
Makes sense. Yeah, the game is like $30, so I'll wait for a sale of anything.
Yeah. Wonder if it's on GMG. Probably not, because usually indie games are not on Green Man Gaming, because they have that big sale right now. Bravely Default 2 being like $20. It's $19 and some change for Bravely Default 2, which is actually a steal. If you haven't picked it up yet, that's what I recommend. If you go to the website, you're not gonna see the discount. You actually have to log in to see the discounts. If you just go to the website, it'll show you like normal price, or sometimes they'll show you a higher price. It might show you a discount price, but it won't show you the full price until you log in, and then you usually get a cheaper price from there.
That's a Steam Deck game. That's like the definition of a Steam Deck game is tuning.
Yeah,
Or Ally, whatever, just handheld PC.
handheld PC. What about you, Brian? What you been playing?
I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but I booted up the Winter's expansion DLC on Resident Evil 8, and
did.
I
You
knocked
did.
out. I did. Okay, yeah. So I finished that. I beat it again on hard mode after I finished it on normal, and I got all the trophies for that. And then two more trophies that are in that Winter's expansion DLC are you have to beat two of the mercenaries levels with an S ranking or better. And so actually no, I take it back. You don't have to get any specific ranking, you just need to beat them, but in order to unlock the last mercenary level, you have to get an S in the previous one. So for all intents and purposes, you have to get an S in one and then just finish the other one. But really liked it. I was actually surprised by how quality the DLC was and how good the story was of Rose's Shadow. Very poignant, very got me a little emotional. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Resident Evil 9, if they're going to continue with her and maybe do like Chris Redfield and her like teaming up or something. But
They should.
yeah,
I'm really
that'd be really
curious.
cool.
I'm really curious what they're gonna do with that because it kind of like defines a good amount of closure between Rose and Ethan Winters and stuff. So
Did you play it? Did you play
Yeah.
the DLC?
yeah, they won.
Did you
Yeah.
agree? That
Yeah.
story is very powerful.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
It's extremely powerful, and like
Yeah.
I'm just hoping they'll do more with her and within
Yeah.
the next Resident Evil game, which yeah, so it depends on where they go with it at this point. It's it has to continue with Rose, and then Chris Redfield is always going to be is also going to be there too. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I like her character. I think it's so cool that she has like those powers, and she's kind of just like this like I don't even know what you describe it. Just like I'm trying to think of like an analogy like in another medium of like somebody like Alucard. Like she's kind of like Alucard like from Castlevania. Like she has like these powers because she's supernatural. But she like fights for the good guys. Like she's just like Alucard, and that makes it really cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And then what else have I been playing? I still need to get back to Dragon Quest 11. I got out of Cobblestone, which is like 0.00001% done with that game.
Yeah.
But that's and then also too, I went back to Stellar Blade this weekend because they released DLC for it, like this like summertime DLC where you can get a couple new outfits and new sunglasses, and then there's like this like little beach villa set up with like inflatable like animals and like those like what do you call them, like the little animals like you put your body through, then you float, like little floaties or whatever.
Floaties. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
floaties. Yeah, I don't know what you call them, or in like little lounge chairs and stuff like that. And I had to get through the game a little bit to get to the point where you can unlock that stuff. But I played that because I love Stellar Blade so far. By the way, is my game of the year 2024 so far. Astrobot is still coming out this year, as well as a bevy of other games. But so far, Stellar Blade is my number one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, like I don't know, like to me, Resident Evil, I don't, even though it's always had like supernatural elements, I don't like the fact of a main character or like a character you play as having supernatural elements, because the point of Resident Evil is you're supposed to feel overwhelmed because you're just this human being fighting zombies and like monsters and things like that. And to me, it's not like Castlevania where Alucard, yeah, you can have these dope things, but and they have a way to make Alucard weaker, like every Metroidvania does. To me, I wouldn't want to go that like. Honestly, I think they should have like a reboot in a sense. Like, get rid of Chris. I do feel that the story of Resident Evil, what's hurting it right now, is the whole Chris, Jill, Claire, Leon, etc. Like, these are characters that are established, but then it's like, where do you go from there? Does that make sense?
Did you play the Shadow Shadows of Rose DLC?
yet.
Okay, I think you need to play that before you're kind of making assumptions of what her powers are like.
Yeah,
'cause her
1,000,000%.
powers aren't really
If anything, you got to go back to Resident Evil 7 first. If anything,
So,
because that's where everything started.
Yeah, I'd be 7 in all the DLC there, except for the Jack one where you got to punch everything. Like, I did not like that one.
That in itself is like a little side story before like the events of Resident Evil 7 was out, and then I think there's other DLC that's like, God, these people always like to speed and whatever. Anyway, there's other also DLC. It's like prequel DLC for Resident Evil 7. You do have to play it, not necessarily, but if you weren't interested on like what was going on with the Baker's family, then you could definitely do that. If anything.
So tell me, is she like another, what's his name, Jake from Resident Evil 6?
Who?
I didn't play Resident Evil 6.
The girl, I forgot what her name is.
Rose.
Rose.
She's limited on her powers. So basically,
her
the
powers are not offensive, really.
Yeah, it's more like defensive power. She's not like she's going like
force lightning,
everything.
Yeah.
She still had a pistol on her, and she was still like afraid of like a good amount of stuff if you play the DLC. And the thing is that she mainly got those powers mainly because of Ethan Winters having the mold virus in him and stuff. So. Yeah, and the thing was with Rose, she was completely lost. She was wanting on what happened to her father and everything, and I forgot where it happened, but like basically when she was doing like a test, I forgot.
She's like bleeding. She's like bleeding like white or whatever, like sweating white.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So you gotta go into first, like beat Resident Evil Village first, and then play the.
I beat Village already. Yeah.
Yeah. Then play the Shadows of
the Rose DLC. It's short. Yeah. You can beat it in like 2 hours. It's really.
I gotta buy the DLC. What I've been waiting for.
Oh, you don't own it?
I've been wanting to buy the gold edition on my Steam Deck because I want to replay the game in the third-person view mode. So I've been wanting to do that for the longest. I just haven't. I own it on Xbox.
Your favorite console?
PS5. No, Xbox. Yeah,
I was buying. Console.
Hey, when the Series X came out, I was buying more stuff for the Series X than PS5. And then I got the Steam Deck, and I started doing this channel, and I was like, well, I might as well just buy everything on PC and play everything on Steam Deck. And then it got to the point where it's like, why do I have an Xbox anymore? Unfortunately. But yeah.
Speaking of which, I pulled the trigger on the Ally X.
Did you? Nice.
I'm gonna see if I like it better than the Steam Deck, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, there's reviews. We might as well jump into our topic, because that is one of our small news topics. The ROG Ally X did come out. There's a lot of reviews on it, positive reviews on it, and I mean, it seems to be basically it fixes a lot of the issues that I personally had with the ROG Ally X, mainly the battery life, which is good.
You mean the ROG Ally?
Like, then it fixes the ROG Ally issues that I had. Yeah, so the X is a lot better in terms of that performance gains. There's some pretty good performance gains in there too, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Fan, did you? Because I know you said you were gonna go ahead and try to claim that. Did you do that yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna hold off a little bit. I'm gonna wait until the because it just came out, so I'm gonna wait and give it a little bit of time.
Gotcha.
Because the stock on the old one will kind of dwindle a little bit, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know. I might pick it up. I'm debating. I've been thinking actually.
I'll report back.
Oh, you say you'll report back?
Of course.
Yeah, like I've been debating. Like I've been actually thinking. Should I sell my Xbox One X and just get that? Because like Retro Game Core had a pretty good video on it, and the minute he showed Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon being played, I was like, yeah, this is
gold.
This is it. Yeah, this is all I needed. Because I told you my biggest thing about it was that I didn't want to give up my Xbox One X my Xbox Series X because I gotta play Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon and stuff like that. But if I can do that on here, no problem. Because on the Steam Deck, at least for me, I have issues. When you play Blue Dragon, you get into a random encounter, you cannot see anything except for the menu, and like there's like a cool kind of like, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like a, how do you put it, like a triangle on the side that shows the like character that you're playing as his face, and then on the outside
Portrait.
it's kind of like a portrait, but not really a portrait. I don't know what you would describe it. Just think of like
Avatar.
a triangle on the side that's like a different camera view, and it has like the character that whose turn it is right there, and then like the main
indicator.
camera just kind of like moves around and kind of shows you different camera views. It's a kind of cool thing. Anyways, you can only see that. You can't see nothing else on the screen, which is kind of weird. You can't see the enemies. You can't see your character. And then, of course, like I said, you can see just the menu, and that's it. So with the ROG Ally X, you can see everything. Everything worked fine. Lost Odyssey looked like they worked fine. So I was like, man, I might have to pick that up. But yeah, I think this will be good. We'll have to wait to see what you think about it, and then when Fan gets his, and what he thinks about it. Because I know you enjoy the ROG Ally, right, Fan?
Yeah, I like my Ally.
Mm-hmm. Do you play more than Steam Deck still?
Probably, to be honest. I boot up my Ally more than I boot up my Steam Deck.
Okay.
And there's no universe where I'll be able to have both of them. Like I'll have to choose one or the other.
I mean, to me, they're different like things. So, like,
they are, but I just know the people in my life, like you know, they'd be like, "There's no way in hell you're gonna have two of these things."
You gotta find some good analogies. You see, that's the thing. I guess because I do selling for a living, I kind of know how to like look. You need
Sweet
this.
talk.
Like yeah, but it's like they do different things. Like if I get the ROG Ally X, it would be literally just like Warzone, Fortnite, stuff like that I can play with my kids. And then anything that I feel that like Xbox 360 emulation, and anything else that I feel like will benefit from Windows or the ROG Ally, like multiplayer games that need Windows for it to function correctly and stuff like that. That would be the main thing that I would get. I wish Steam could just fix that issue, honestly. If they could fix that issue, I probably wouldn't even, look at that. But that's the main reason why I would pick it up.
Yeah, even as powerful as the Ally is, like I was running GameCube emulation on it, and like it did okay.
Yeah.
It like even like Rogue Squadron, the one game, the game that like everyone throws at for GameCube emulation, because that's the one that like, will either pass or fail. And I couldn't get a steady 60 the entire time. It would go like 50, 55, 45, up to 60. It kind of went all over the place. So even with an Ally, like, even as powerful it is, it can't even play every single game perfectly.
Yeah.
Your Fan's doing the anti-you. He's trying to talk me out of it. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, it's a great system, but don't assume it's gonna, be the one to do everything. There's gonna be some limits. Yeah, and the X might fix that because of the extra stuff, right? You got extra 8 gigs of RAM, you got faster RAM, so there's a chance that it could actually fix a lot of the stuff that I was having issues with.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like when I set it up for emulation and everything to play around, performance wise on the lower games were fine, but sometimes I had to put it up from like silent mode to what's the second mode? Performance, right? There's silent, performance, and turbo.
Yes, turbo.
Yeah, so the middle one I would have to put it, which is that performance mode, for it to like kind of do certain things, which was to me kind of weird. Like the wattage it had to go to would be definitely higher than what the Steam Deck can play that. And that was my biggest issue too with the ROG Ally, is like I mentioned earlier that the TDP it would have to be higher on the ROG Ally for it to perform equivalent or similar on the Steam Deck on certain games, that is. And I dropped the games, like the first thing I did on every game was drop it from 1080p to 720p because I wanted to kind of have like a equal like fighting ground there. In other games it overperform, right? Like on Dragon Quest 11, it was similar performance, which I feel like there's something else going on with it, because when I think about it now, it's similar performance at 720p and at 1080p, which is kind of weird. Like it made no sense. So there might have been something else going on with that. Some people in the comment section of my video said I probably had a faulty unit. That's also possible too, that some of the issues I had was just it was a faulty unit.
You also remember at one point in time I was playing, was it Lost Company or whatever, the game that we were playing?
Oh yeah, Lethal Company. Yeah,
Lethal Company. I was playing that on my Ally.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you had to play through stream because What was it doing on I forgot. You kept disconnecting or something?
Yeah, it just kept disconnecting on my PC for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. So, yeah, I think this is something we'll look into, and who knows, maybe I'll get one. We'll see if I have the extra funds, if I can get the funds to get that, I'll probably look out for that and get that. Speaking of kind of ROG Ally news, not really actually. It's not Ally. It's the opposite of this. There is a big issue going on with Intel CPUs. Apparently, Intel CPUs are just crashing, specifically with the 13th and 14th gen CPUs. And according to Intel, their statement was, let me get the exact statement here. I should have had that up here. Great, I had it here, now I can't find it. I think their thing was that it was just there's no fix for it. Like there's literally no fix, and it's like it kind of is what it is. There's a whole interview on The Verge. I recommend reading it. It kind of goes into like what the issue is and what's going on. But Intel themselves said there's, as of right now at least, there's no fix for it. Nothing that can help it. There's no like BIOS updates or anything like that would fix that. And they're asking like will they recall the Intel CPUs, and the answer was no. They're not gonna do a recall for Intel CPUs, which is kind of weird. There's a lot of weird things. They're not gonna halt the sales or anything like that. They're just gonna kind of be like, yeah, like deal with it. Have you guys read this story yet at all?
I thought that there's no fix to fix like messed up CPUs, but they're gonna do a fix to prevent damage or something. I thought I read that. Like if you have a messed up CPU, like too bad, there's nothing to be done. Like there's no code that can fix that. But I thought they were gonna release some fix to make it so nothing further could happen.
Trying to see here.
I don't know who Ash is FaceTiming right now, but I feel like he might know.
Yeah. It doesn't say. Let's see. This was my questions. Yeah, it doesn't. I can't see it on here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any fix. All they can do is like redesign it to make sure whatever the issue is isn't gonna be any future production problems.
Makes me want to get rid of because I have an i9 14th gen too, so it makes me a little nervous. And it's like it's not even like I can sell it. Like I bet their value right now on like eBay and stuff, I bet it's horrible because of this story.
It says according to here, degradation of the processor is irreversible, and Intel spokesperson did not deny that when we asked. Intel is confident that it looks like the patch. There is a patch. You're right. There is a patch coming.
Cool. Then I'll be okay then.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had any problems.
And it says as another preventive measure, it says you should also update your motherboard BIOS ASAP. It says.
Okay.
But it says if your defective CPU has been damaged, your best option is to replace it instead of tweaking BIOS settings to try and alleviate the problems.
I'll just go buy another Intel CPU, just like they want, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's power related.
Yeah.
So it's probably power profiles, voltages, like, yeah. Well, yeah, you can update a BIOS and now it can like maybe change the voltage, like
power profile.
Yeah. That might help.
I mean,
but, yeah.
I mean, my thing with Intel CPUs was always, and I've talked about it. Like when it comes to like price per performance, is it worth it? Or not price per performance, like power per performance, because like Intel CPUs take a lot of power for them to be powered. And
performance per watt.
Yeah, and it's like it's huge. Where you can get like an AMD that might be similar, and it's like half of what Intel needs. For
it's a lot more efficient.
Yeah, way more efficient. For example, I think my Ryzen 5, I think it's like 65 watts or something like that. I don't remember exactly how many. No, I gotta double check that before I start spitting numbers here. And
I will say the one thing I don't like about AMD processors is the memory training.
What's that?
Sometimes the processor has to basically like read the RAM and like train it and like make sure it can actually read and like write back and forth before it boots up. So sometimes when you turn on the computer, it has to do that for the first time, and it could just sit there for like 3-4 minutes.
Oh wow.
and then it goes through. So sometimes if you reset your memory, you're gonna have to retrain it again. So there's always that. That's the one thing I don't like. But what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had that. Like typically when I boot up my PC, it boots. The only issues I've had are OBS related, which I don't.
Yeah, like I said, first time when
issue.
when you install a processor for the first time, it does the first initial memory training. But anytime that you reset your RAM and stuff, it has to redo the memory training again.
When you say reseat, do you mean like take it out and
put it back
RAM in?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that right now, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 65 watts. Yeah, so basically 65 watts. It looks like what this takes, which is not bad. It's very, very low. I think like an i5 is a lot higher than that. I want to say an i5. I guess this would be the equivalent to like a 13th gen. Let's see, what would an Intel i5 take? Go directly to Intel's website because they won't lie about this. Intel's website is not like this. Oh well, I'm not about to look at it. There's like a bunch of different variants here, and I don't feel like looking through all of this there. But yeah, my biggest thing was just how more efficient it is. I do like how more efficient like AMD CPUs are, and of course they perform better. The more RAM you have, basically on AMD CPUs, the better typically they function overall. So yeah, if you have an Intel CPU, update the BIOS. There's an update coming for the CPU itself, and hopefully you don't get that issue. That should hopefully fix the issue. If you have that issue, then kind of sucks. You'll have to go ahead and buy another Intel CPU. You want to keep with Intel. If not, AMD is always out there.
If I did do AMD, the only thing I'd have to buy would just be the processor and a new motherboard, right?
Yeah, because you can still use the same RAM.
Okay. Hey guys, yeah. sorry for the long BRB. I was helping out my sister with her computer problems. So all right.
Yeah, no worries. We're just talking about the whole Intel thing that's going on with 13th and 14th gen.
I feel bad. I feel bad how defective those CPUs are, man. Because it's just the way the tables have turned on them now. Because back then, Intel used to be top dog when it comes to like raw performance compared to like AMD with their FX Bulldozer architecture and everything. But now AMD is like kind of chilling with their CPUs. They're good now. Like power consumption is like good. Core count is amazing. They're always consistent when it comes to their like performance increases. Meanwhile, when you see Intel, like they're still good. It's just now like when it comes to like quality of life improvements for these things, they're not doing well. They're not doing good. It's not great. It's not great at all. And I feel sorry. I hope Intel could come back so that way AMD doesn't start monopolizing their own CPUs, because I want that healthy competition to keep going. Yeah. Right. So
yeah, I mean that would be nice, like for Intel to come. I mean, honestly, if they would get their CPUs just to be more efficient, I feel like overall.
Yeah,
they look at them.
They should. I mean, if anything, I thought they had something going for when it comes to using like P cores and E cores for trying to like spread their workload and stuff. But I guess that's not working out well for them. Which I mean, I know they're gonna catch them eventually, right? So I just want them to be neck and neck.
Because I know AMD is like on a 6 nanometer die, right, with the 7,000 CPUs or 8,000.
I thought it was not a 9 nanometer, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I was talking about CPUs. So
no, because the 5600, the 5600, the Ryzen 5 is a 7 nanometer, and I could have sworn that the newer ones are smaller than that.
Man, they should be.
Where I think Intel might be on 9, because like Intel has not shrunk their die since like forever. To my knowledge, which correct me if I'm wrong, Ash. That also helps out with power efficiency. The smaller it is, typically the less power it consumes.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the thing.
Intel's on 10 right now. They were on 14 for like the longest time.
Yeah, so 10 nanometer.
They were doing 14 for like 4 generations. They just were stuck there for whatever reason.
Let's see. Let's find out what the sizes for the 7000, because I mean I could say that 8000 series, but those are all like laptop, I think, CPUs only, and desktops. It doesn't say here specific.
Their 14th gen is 7 nanometer, and then if you look at the 13th, let me say. Yeah, so 13th gen is 10 nanometer. Meanwhile, the 14th is 7 nanometer.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Van, you're muted.
Like Intel's still behind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel bad for Intel, but at the same time,
AMD's
I
been
need
on 7 for a while, so
I just need Intel to just pick up the pace with their CPUs. I mean, because like I said, they used to be top dog. Now they need to I mean, they should have start ramping up their stuff ever since the first Ryzen CPU came out, because like straight up Intel was roasting AMD saying, hey, they just got 2 CPUs glued together, but now look at them now. Like they need to start picking up the speed when it comes to like performance increases and everything. And well, once we have that from Intel, then we're back neck and neck now. Because like at the end of the day, I just want to have just pure competition in every regard, right? No monopolies. I don't want that. I don't want price hikes on CPUs, nor on GPUs, nor anything when it comes to the PC market.
So the Ryzen 7, the 7800X3D is a 5 nanometer.
5 nanometer, yeah. See,
so like it's a lot less.
Oh yeah,
because and it's showing 120 watt TDP,
which is good, really good.
So it's still a lot less. Where I think that's like the equivalent of like an i5 or something like that. And this is for the 3D CPU, which would be like probably the one that uses the most power.
Not to mention is that because of that architecture and stuff, if you know how to undervolt your CPU correctly, you can even use even less power consumption and still get higher clock speeds with it, which is crazy. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the whole Intel thing. So yeah, if you're an Intel user, just be on the lookout for that. Last bit of small news: Mortal Kombat 1 is getting Chaos Reigns story DLC. Basically, it looks like they're adding characters. You had what's his name? Ghostface, right? The Scream guy, Ghostface. It looks like
T100.
Yeah, the T100, Terminator 2, Conan the Barbarian. And then you have Sector and Cyrix, which are both female. Or no, I'm sorry, Noob Saibot and Sector are both female. Then you have Cyrix. I think that's right?
It sounds about right. I mean, I haven't seen the trailer itself.
Sector and Cyrix are female, and Noob Saibot somebody separate. There we go. If you remember, it's a whole reboot. It's a reboot of the universe, right? So it's not like it's like
it's not the
Mortal
same
Kombat universe. Yeah. Because instead of Raiden being the what was he like, the god of thunder or whatever, it's Liu Kang now. He's the dragon god or something like that. So it's like a whole rebuilt world.
Basically what happened, from what I remember, is that by the end of Mortal Kombat 11,
Liu Kang's the god of fire.
Yeah, Liu Kang literally just grabbed the universe and just rebuilt it from the ground up, because everything was already going to crap. So that's how Mortal Kombat 1 happened. And it's surprising for me to see what's her name? Cyrax and the other one?
Sector.
Yeah. I correct me. Oh, actually, yeah. Let me backtrack a little bit, because I'm thinking about like Mortal Kombat 9 knowledge, because there was like another one that's like Sector and Cyrax, but it was like Sub-Zero that was in one of those mechs or something like that. And stuff. I guess that particular character is not in that game yet, if anything. I don't know how they're gonna do those story beats, if anything, unless they're going to go through with that. What's up?
Isn't Noob Saibot the Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 1? The very first Mortal Kombat from the early 90s.
Yeah, so yeah, the OG Sub-Zero was killed by Scorpion, and then later on he got resurrected as Noob Saibot.
Right.
And then and I think his actual name was Bihan.
Yeah,
and then his little brother, which was the Sub-Zero before Mortal Kombat 1, was trying to avenge his older brother, who is now Noob Saibot, and with us he was trying to kill Scorpion, which those events happened back in Mortal Kombat 9, I believe, on the PS3. And then that's all I can remember from those points, if anything. It's just
it's so
been a
funny
while.
how Mortal Kombat is like the one fighting game that has like interesting lore. Like none of the other ones do. Like Tekken doesn't. Like I don't care about the stupid volcano and Heihachi. Dead or Alive doesn't. Guilty Gear really doesn't have interesting lore, really. But Mortal Kombat, like I'm always interested in like what's going on with those characters and like the storylines behind everything. So it's so funny how Mortal Kombat's going like that.
Yeah, I think it's just Mortal Kombat lore is like just more interesting because Street Fighter has lore, and I have followed it because it's like knowing the Alpha series is a prequel to Street Fighter 1, 2, was it 1, 2, 3, or all the mainline Street Fighter, right? Alpha series is a prequel, and you kind of see who like Okuma was and Ryu, who Ryu's master was, and all that other stuff. They're like it was very interesting, but it's not as interesting as Mortal Kombat. Like I would agree with you with that. Dead or Alive, I mean, the only thing that I found interesting was how it's related to Ninja Gaiden.
That's literally the only thing that got me interested in Dead or Alive, and that's literally what he's pointed out. So, but
that's the only thing I cared about.
I know to give Mortal Kombat credit though. They definitely culturally impacted a lot.
Ryu Hayabusa for Dead or
Alive. And Ayane too is in Ninja Gaiden as well.
Yep.
Yeah. But Mortal Kombat itself, I mean, it's extremely popular in the West. I mean, it definitely culturally impacted the gaming industry by a good margin, especially with all the politicians trying to ban this game. So it's. I'm glad the series is still ongoing and people are still enjoying it, if anything. Now, as for the DLC choices they went for Mortal Kombat 1, I'm not really a big fan of those. I think it's because they're trying to follow the trend, which is why they put Omni-Man and Homelander in there.
Yeah.
Because like when I did see like the gameplay for it, I'm just like, it's not hitting for me, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is with that. So
no, I agree. Like I skipped out on Mortal Kombat. Like to be honest, like I've never been the biggest Mortal Kombat fan. I think like the Mortal Kombat game I played the most was the Mortal Kombat trilogy that came out like on PS1. That was the one that I played like the most out of, and then I did play the reboot that was just called, I think it was just called Mortal Kombat that came out on PS3, right?
In 2011, I think.
Yeah. It was something like that because I was working at GameStop at the time, and they, GameStop will let you borrow the games and take home. So I took that one with me, and I got to play that. And I played
good.
That
good
through
story.
with my wife. Yeah. We enjoyed it. Was great, but like my biggest thing is Mortal Kombat was just too slow. Like Street Fighter's faster for me, especially like after you play like Street Fighter Turbo, like everything has to be that speed now. Or faster.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Or like or like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right? You play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and how quick that game is. Like I got so used to games like that any game that's slower annoys me. Like Tekken, I stopped playing Tekken because of the same thing. It's like, man, this is too slow for me. I used to play Tekken 2 and 3 all the time, and then I just kind of like
love Tekken 3.
Stopped. Yeah, Tekken 3 was amazing. Tekken Tag.
Was more Tekken Tag.
Yeah.
I love Tekken Tag. That was one of the PS2 games I got at launch was Tekken Tag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tekken Tag was great. What else? Dead or Alive I played a lot too. It's easier to get in terms of fighting mechanics. I feel like it's easier to learn that game. So like I played Dead or Alive. What was the only one that I really owned? I think it was the 3DS one actually.
I was going to point that out. That one I was like,
Dimensions. Is it called Dimensions?
It was.
Dimensions. Yeah, I tried to get into that. It was fun for a good bit, maybe for like a
portable
game.
It was impressive.
Oh yeah, I agree. But like, I just couldn't get into the series in general because I'm pretty sure they had a lot more games before the 3DS. 3DS version and stuff. So I mean,
I just know
I tried
that as a 13-year-old playing that for the first time, it was very easy to get into.
Fair,
for obvious reasons.
I played
I get what you mean.
The demo, like the first time I tried out the game was I don't know if it was the first or the second one. I think it was the second one. It was on Dreamcast because I had like this demo disc and it had a bunch of games. It was Dead or Alive. Sonic Adventure 1.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The demo disc on PS. Yo, that takes me back with that, man. It got me introduced to so many other games I never knew about. It was
There's
nuts.
this one game I always wanted to try out, and maybe you guys know the name of this game. It's like a
For what?
For Dreamcast. It was on that demo disc. It was in like a strategy RPG. It was kind of weird. Like you move.
Evolution?
No, it wasn't Evolution. You move these characters and they move around, but they had guns. So it was like like almost like modern, but they move around, but everything was like it was almost like turn based. And the way you see what each character was doing. No, they're people, just people, humans. But like
humans, all right.
like I want to say like in order to see what each character is doing, you basically are looking like camera feeds, and that's how you change the camera angle. It was a game that at least at the time I could not understand how to play it, but I always would play that demo over and over and over again because it was just interesting. Like the music was great. It's Sega, so like I had like the Sega style like music and stuff like that. I don't know what the name of that game is now. And I've been thinking about it for the longest time because I was like, you know what, I want to actually give it a try.
Okay, so like from what it looked like, did it have any anime characters in there
Swords?
possibly?
No, no swords.
The guns, you said.
Yeah, they had guns. I'm looking at this list here, but it's
I'm looking for the list too. I'm just asking to see because like, is there any like anime like characters in there by any means or
anime characters? I mean, you could probably say that they're anime characters.
I see. Okay.
Let me see.
That's gonna bug me.
Because like, because like all that stuff sounded similar to Sakura Wars until you told me that like they're not in mechs. I'm like, okay,
it's not Sakura Wars at all. Yeah, I know what Sakura Wars looks like. It is definitely not that. It's not this game. Man,
House of the Dead 2.
No, definitely not that. I know how that game. I mean, there's not that many Dreamcast games, right? Like,
yeah,
it should not that many to find.
And you play as people.
Yeah.
And is it like you said that they're not anime looking, like they're American looking?
I mean,
not American, but non-anime.
I mean, they might be anime looking. Like I'm trying to remember. I would say like they're closer to anime looking. But yeah, there's like I'm looking at all these games that are on this Google list here. Let me go to Wikipedia.
Conflict Zone?
What was it?
Conflict Zone?
Let me see. Let me type that in and see what that looks like. Modern War Strategy. No, definitely not that. That's an RTS.
RTS.
You said strategy. What is it? It's not strategy.
It's kinda. I want to say maybe. Yeah, it had to be strategy. I know it's turn based, but it's not RTS. It's not RTS type.
It was on a demo disc, so automatically this game was already released to the US by then. So okay.
I'm looking for Dreamcast demo disc. Here's the one.
Yeah, I was searching for that right now. Dreamcast demo disc.
This one has MDK2, Dead or Alive 2. It would have been on this one, but it's not on here. Tomb Raider. Unless I have multiple demo discs, which I doubt I did.
Is it Outrigger?
The Outrigger? Let's find out. No, that's not it. Doesn't look
okay. Like I'm about ready to give up.
yeah. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how we can't find this already.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I wish it was like I wish there was a way to see like I don't know. Oh wait, hold up. This might be it. There's this picture on eBay. What is it? Oh, I Spy. I Spy is what it's called. That was it. Yeah, this eBay picture had it.
That's funny. What's it called? I Spy?
Yeah, I Spy.
It is anime.
It is anime. Yeah, I couldn't remember. But like, so if you look at it, like, yeah, so it is turn based, and you see how like it shows like the little pictures on the side. They're almost like different camera views, and you have a time. a timer there, and I remember I was like, I did not understand it.
That's so weird. I
never
went
even
over
heard
this.
of this.
I went over this picture knowing. I went over this picture while looking for the game, and I
Yeah.
didn't think it was it. That's funny.
Yeah, it was a weird thing, like, because at first I did not know how to play this game, and I would just play this demo over and over and over.
Oh, I was on this, bro. I was sure it was this, but I pushed it off. That's funny because instead of saying I Spy, it's called Industrial Spy Operation Espionage. Oh my god, how did I ignore this? I could have gotten it, man. Jesus.
Only remember because I saw the cover and I was like, yes, I remember that whole it would say I Spy. But yeah, like I would play that in such a great game. I don't even know how we got to this topic. Why were we talking about this? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I completely forgot why we were talking about this. Anyways, we're talking about fighting games, and it just went down a rabbit hole. Of
that's right. Yep.
Like
I guess so. Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to our main topic today because we spent over an hour on this stuff, almost an hour on this. So the Xbox 360 marketplace is finally shutting down on July 29th, and on this channel, I would say we don't talk about Xbox highly in a lot of regards, mainly because the way the Xbox Series, consoles have been handled, they're not the best. There's a lot of things that just we're not the biggest fans of. But to give credit where credit is due, the Xbox 360 was a beautiful piece of hardware. It had, it had more important things, games. Like when it first came out, I can't tell you how hyped I was to actually get this console. I actually got the 360 over the PS3, and I was a huge Sony fanboy at the time because I was obsessed with my PS2. My PS2 I played like 24/7, but I had to get the 360. And man, I'll tell you what
made you change?
RPGs. The RPGs that it had. Lost Odyssey, Eternal Sonata was another game that they showed off. What else? Because like over time, I didn't get it at launch. I want to say I got it maybe about 2 years later because the PS2 was already out. And the Wii was there. Yeah, Enchanted Arms is another one. But yeah, there was like Eternal Sonata on Infinite Undiscovery. Blue Dragon had came first, and then Lost Odyssey came later.
Last Remnant.
Last Remnant was a later on, but I remember when they announced that too, and I was like, man, like Square Enix is going all in. Star Ocean 4, right? Star Ocean: The Last Hope was only on Xbox 360 at the time. It launched there, and then I want to say like 5 years later it came to PS3. Tales of Vesperia, another one.
Don't remind me of that one. I was so mad about that. It could have get on PS3, but X was like, no, we're gonna have a 360, man.
Yeah, that was 360.
Hey, now it's everywhere.
Yeah, now it's everywhere. So,
But yeah, they had a great lineup. But not only that, like the interface, as much as I love the Wii interface, and I think that's probably still one of my favorites, what they did with that and how they changed it over time made you feel like, okay, this is the future where gaming's headed, because they started with the Blade system, which was not good at all. I would say the Blade system
I love the
sucked.
Blades.
Really? You like the Blade? I thought it was like boring. And then they changed it to the, I don't know what they called the next system. But there, like, things changed, right? Xbox Arcade was another thing that was being highlighted. One of my favorite things that Xbox did that generation that was amazing is that every game had to have a demo, which was great.
True. That was cool. Yep.
Yeah, because like there were some game demos that you could only get on Xbox 360 that weren't on PS3. But that was like the best thing ever because you got to test out so many games and try them out. Nowadays, you can't really do that. It's like...
Nope.
It's rare for you to get a demo, but like I was able to try so many games. I'm like, oh wow, this game's kind of cool. I should get this. Games that I would have never thought about playing, I tested them out and eventually bought it.
Right.
There was some other cool like arcade games. They had like Doritos Crash Course, which was like a little like obstacle course type of game, which was fun. It was like what, $5 or something like that, but it was so fun. There's so many cool things that Xbox did. What were your guys' like favorite moments of just the Xbox 360 generation? Because there's a lot of great things they did well, outside of the hardware, right? The controller as well. I feel like the controller, I wouldn't say they perfected it, but I think the form factor that everything was around was definitely the way to go because PlayStation kind of like followed that form factor with PS4 and making just the handles a little bit more ergonomic. And, when it comes to the two like controllers, I mean, they're really good. Like, everything kind of borrows. Like, if you look at my KK3 Max controller, it uses the same kind of Xbox layout, which is very, very comfortable. But yeah, what were you guys' like favorite memories of the Xbox 360? If you picked one up at launch or whenever you got it, favorite games you played on it, and favorite features that it had.
So I had a older brother. My older brother picked up the 360, and I picked up the PS3 and the Wii and stuff. So because he was more of an Xbox fan, but like when playing on the 360, without my parents watching, I would try to play Gears of War. And I definitely loved that game a lot growing up because it was just fun. This is the biggest thing. I just love going in on Locust and just chainsawing the hell out of them. I thought it was fun, you know. And and then the other game I played on it, which I'm pretty sure this was also available on PS3, was called Dragon Ball Raging Blast. I love Raging Blast, the first one. I don't like the second one as much, but I love the first one a lot more because it was just the fact the music was a lot better in Raging Blast compared to 2. So that was great. And then the other game which I'm pretty sure was on PS3, but it was on 360 and I probably played better on 360, was me playing Call of Duty Call of Duty 5 or Call of Duty World at War. To me, to this very day, it's still my favorite top Call of Duty game to this very day. And I don't care what anybody says. Typically, people will say COD 4 is the best or Modern Warfare 2 is the best. I'm like, nah. To me, COD 5 was better because the way they did the story with that. COD 5, Call of Duty World at War. Yeah. To me, that was.
Because I thought Call of Duty 4 was Modern Warfare and World at War was before that, wasn't it? Or am I
World at War's before that because that takes place in World War II.
So wouldn't that technically be Call of Duty 3.5? Because there was a Call of Duty 3.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. So I get what you mean.
Did it go 2, 3 World at War or 2 World at War 3? I don't remember.
2, 3 World at War. And then Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's where also Nazi Zombie started too. Was that Call of Duty World at War? I love the game a lot because to me that game felt the snappiest when it comes to the Call of Duty physics in that game. So I never get tired of it. Heck, I still have Call of Duty World at War installed into my PC to this very day and stuff because the community's still alive. They're still making modded maps on it too and everything. And I get on there sometimes if I want to just like chill and play like a quick match or something like that. It's fun. If it aged like fine wine for me, and I love that, you know. But overall with the Xbox, it was definitely a really good contender for its time and stuff because like you said, it had a good amount of first party titles. Unfortunately, I never got to try any of the JRPGs that you mentioned before and everything, but I refused to buy. At the time I refused to buy Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox. I wanted to get on my PS3 and shit because when I saw that it was already on the PS3 in Japan, I'm like, okay, how come we can't get that over the West, man? I'm like, what the hell, bro?
Because we don't get cool stuff in the West, man. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Americans are boring. I get it, but like, yeah, it's it is what it is. Xbox was great. Objectively, it was a really good console, and I praised it for that. And on top of that, on it, even though I was a PS3 fanboy, Xbox controller was superior. Like it was vastly superior compared to the DualShock 4 controller, and nobody cannot debate me on that because ergonomically it was just better. That's it. And the thing is, I love my DualSense a lot, but I don't like the fact that the two freaking analog sticks are still close to each other like this. I don't like that. So, but yeah, that's overall. I will still praise the 360 and stuff.
And the DualShock. The DualShock 3 didn't even have rumble when it came. It wasn't even called the DualShock. What was it called when it came out? What was that called? They had a different name for it.
The 6-axis.
6-axis.
Oh, 6-axis. You're right. Yeah.
Then they came out with the DualShock 3 after. Because it was weird. They went backwards. They had the DualShock 2, and then they took out the rumble feature altogether and made the.
Nobody wants that. It's like, yeah, I do. I love rumble.
And they had the audacity to still sell their console. Listen, I'll never let go of the fact that they're trying to sell the console for like $600 or $800.
Yeah,
like, bro.
Yeah, it was a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, for Christ's sake, man. Like,
I mean, when it comes to like the thumbsticks, like I honestly don't mind like these.
Yeah,
like
my hand fits right comfortably
on this.
I say this much. These are leagues better than the DualShock 4s and then the ones after that. But still, if I were to compare the Xbox controller versus this, right, I will still probably choose the Xbox controller, if anything, right? So
I mean, I got the DualSense right or the DualShock here, and it's like, it is better. I would say that.
Yeah.
I put my little phone mount on it. I haven't used it though, but this was my first remote play controller. Remote play controller, and I just keep that. Ooh, I just hit my mic.
And let's not forget the good old Xbox Live parties, man. Those were great.
Yeah.
Better hope to God that some not some random hacker group was able to get all the archive Xbox Live chats and stuff and just leak it to the world and stuff. God, man, those were there were some fun times, especially on Call of Duty. But yeah,
were you gonna say something, Fan?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like that's another thing, like you mentioned, party chat. That was something that was pretty innovative at the time. When it comes to just the chat functionality and how people would interact in the future of gaming. Because PS2 had online, but it was like when you chat, it was in game, and it was
limited.
Very limited on how you control things. And then Xbox came in and announced like party chat, where before you even enter a game, you can go ahead and get a group of friends and start chatting that way. And they even added. You remember when you were able to do the parties with Netflix? When they added that, so you can watch Netflix together and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was great. That was cool. Yeah. I like that feature a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some cool features that they had there. They like I said, give credit where credit's due. They were pretty innovative in that front in terms of adding stuff. Do you know one thing that the Xbox 360 did not have when it launched? Can anybody guess?
Hold up.
Wasn't it an Or no, it was Wi-Fi. It didn't have Wi-Fi.
That is
didn't
true.
have Wi-Fi.
It didn't have to connect.
It
That
didn't have
was an
Wi-Fi.
add-on later.
So this is something that the PS3 had, but the Xbox
Yeah.
didn't.
It's Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
It's Wi-Fi.
Brian was right. It didn't have Wi-Fi. Which
really?
was a weird thing, yeah. To
An adapter.
You're right.
Yep.
You had to get an accessory to get like a Wi-Fi adapter accessory.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Wow,
Yep.
that's crazy.
They sold it. It was like I
forgot
think
about that.
$30 or something like that.
I was gonna say like a software like the web browser, because I don't remember seeing a web browser on the 360, but I remember seeing something like that on the PS3.
They added, I think, they never had a web browser, right? Because they didn't add
the PS3 had a web browser, but the 360 didn't. That's what
I'm saying. I don't think the 360 ever added one. Not that I remember, at least.
Yeah, that was gonna be my guess of anything, but I forgot the Wi-Fi adapter thing. Good call on that one. So
yeah,
and then they eventually built them in.
Yeah, and eventually, they got in with Edge, and what the Xbox One had Microsoft Internet Explorer, right?
You mean Xbox 360 or
no One? I think the one had the Internet Explorer. Yeah.
Yeah, but they eventually did build in Wi-Fi into like later Xbox 360 models.
Yeah. Later on, they did build it in. You are correct.
Revisions.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget the Red Ring of Death.
Oh, Red Ring of Death. Oh yeah, we can talk about that too.
That the most famous feature of the Xbox.
It's not a bug, guys. It's a feature, man.
It's a feature.
Yeah, so like for my my recollections of it, I mean, I think the thing that I think between all of us, none of us, I would say, Xbox is our primary console of playing or whatever, but at the same time, like in 2005 when that came out, like it was the skeleton for kind of what we have today. Like they did a lot of things first, like all the downloadable games, demos, they don't really do that much anymore, but like on PlayStation Network, if you have like the premium or whatever, you can get like trials of games, not the same thing as demos because it's paywalled or whatever, but like just like the whole like online infrastructure thing that we have today, like it started with 360 as far as navigating through like a digital marketplace to download things, buying things with points. You remember the Microsoft points? Those are awful.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Convert that.
Like converting that. Yeah, it was awful.
You always had like, Microsoft points left over, which is that's how they got you. Like
pretty much.
Yep. And I remember like the biggest game that I loved on the Xbox Live Arcade was like Super Meat Boy. Like when that came out, that was so freaking cool and a really fun game, and I played that so much. I will say though, the launch lineup for Xbox 360 wasn't great. Like it had that Call of Duty 2. It was that's a good game, obviously, but like beyond that, it had like King Kong. It had it had that horror game, Condemned. It had a really bad Madden game. Not much more beyond that. I remember when I got mine, I think I just got like Call of Duty, and I think that's it. But later on, obviously, it was the king. It beat the crap out of the PS3, and then they got a little over their skis, and then the next generation, the PS4, destroyed the Xbox One. So I really respect the Xbox 360. Lots of good memories there.
It says 18 launch titles were available. So
Yeah.
Amped 3, Call of Duty 2,
Viva Piano, baby. I don't know.
No, that wasn't launched.
Criminal
launched.
Origins,
Yeah.
Gun, Cameo, Madden NFL
Cameo's
06, NBA
That was a bad version.
2K6, NBA Live 06. Let's see. Oh, there was worldwide. FIFA 06 was another one. Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Oh,
okay, that is a good game. That's a good game.
Really,
That's a
really good game. I miss that game so much.
NHL 2K6, Perfect Dark Zero, King Kong, Project Gotham Racing 3, Quake
That's not
4.
bad.
Oh, Quake 4. Okay.
Let's see. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06 and Tony Hawk's American Wasteland.
Wow.
Yeah, not that great. It's okay.
I think that's the only one I never played.
Oh wait, hold on. There's another game, Ridge Racer 6 as well.
Oh,
Was
Ridge
launch?
Racer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then Japan had Tetris, the Grandmaster Ace, and
Of course it did.
Every Party,
Oh, okay.
which I have no clue what any of those games are. But yeah, those are the launch games there. Yeah, and then the launch games, and I feel like I don't know that lineup. Yeah, it's not that great. Like I don't think PS3 had as good of a lineup because I know they had that Gundam game. They had Genji,
game?
I think too. Yeah, there was a Gundam game that came out. Let me see if I can find out the PS3 launch games.
There's Genji.
Mm-hmm.
There was, man, I can't even remember the PS3 launch that well.
Yes. Yeah, same here.
It had 12 launch games. So
okay. Did Heavenly Sword, that wasn't launch, was it? I don't think it was. I think they came out
let me
later.
see. So the list here is Blazing Angels, Squadrons of World War II, Call of Duty 3, Genji, Days of the Blade, Madden NFL 07, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire, NBA 2K7, NHL 2K7, Resistance Fall of Man, which was good.
That's a good game.
Yeah, good game.
Ridge Racer 7, Tiger Woods
That's a
PGA
great
Tour
game.
07, and then Tony Hawk's Project 8. Those were the
Not
only
great
ones.
either.
Yeah, so like both of them were pretty bad. And just for to not be biased, what were the Wii launch games?
Oh yeah, I know Wii Sports. I know Wii Sports one of them.
Yeah.
Excite Trucks.
Let's see.
But Wii Sports was still a good game to play either by yourself or with family and friends too. That was great.
Right.
I still have a pretty good fun memories with that too. So
I found this thing. I don't know if this graph is real, but I don't know if this is real. There's a graph here that talks about the launch titles. I know if I look at Switch, it'll tell me. I guess it's real. So according to this, I can't even read what this says here.
I think I'm looking at the list you're looking at. It's on Reddit. There's like Marvel.
Yeah.
There's Zelda Twilight Princess, which James is very familiar with from yesterday.
Yep.
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz. I do remember buying that when I got my Wii Sports, as Ash mentioned. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, Call of Duty 3 Excite Truck, as I mentioned. Red Steel, which that wasn't that great. It looked cool, but 2 ended up being better. Rayman, SpongeBob, Cars, Rampage, Madden 07, Need for Speed Carbon, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Trauma Center, Second Opinion, Happy Feet, Dragon Ball Z. I can't read it. What that is? Tenkaichi 2, maybe?
Tenkaichi 2, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, not great. Not great. At least a Zelda game.
Pro Series.
Yeah, G Pro. Yeah.
Billy and Mandy something.
Yep. Super Swing Golf. It looks like.
Oh, okay. All right, I found one of them. So the first one is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Second one's Barnyard. Third one's Call of Duty 3. Fourth one was Cars. Fourth one was Excite Truck. Fifth one was the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Sixth one is GT Pro Series. Seventh one is Happy Feet. Eighth one is Madden NFL 07. Ninth one is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. 10th one is Monster 4x4 World Circuit. 11th one is Need for Speed Carbon. 12th one is Open Season. 13th is Rampage Total Destruction was a freaking great game. I love that so much. Sorry. The 13th was Rayman Raving Rabbids. 14th was Red Steel. 16th was SpongeBob SquarePants, Creature from the Krusty Krab. 16th was Super Monkey Ball. 17th was the Ant Bully. 18th was Tony Hawk Downhill Jam. 18th was Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Trauma Center, and there's Wii Sports. Bro, if you guys haven't played Rampage Total Destruction, that game was so freaking fun, right? Now the thing is, I don't know why this was. All right, I guess you can count this as a launch time, but this first came out on the GameCube actually. But Rampage is pretty much like the modern version of like Rampage on the N64 and stuff. But this game was so fun. I played this by myself all the time, but like it was just a really really fun game.
These were all just such awful ports, by the way. Like they were so ugly. Like
oh yeah, that I agree to.
No.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I want to say there was WiiWare games because WiiWare was already a thing, right? Like, wasn't that at launch? Because like World of Goo, I believe, was like a launch title.
WiiWare.
I think it's called World of Goo. It might be called something else.
Yeah, you're right. WiiWare was definitely had an interest, interesting set of games. So I think I didn't really put too much money into WiiWare stuff. So like from what I remember grabbing Pokemon Ranch because it worked. Yeah. It worked hand in hand with Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So I remember that. Secondly, there was this weird game on WiiWare that was pretty much trying to emulate Call of Duty, but it was like a Call of Duty for kids, and it was like a team water shooting game or something like that. I forget what it's called, but it was fun while it lasted. Definitely not, but yeah. It was like a random studio that made this game, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Let me buy this for like 500 Wii points or whatever. So I bought that. It was fun for a while. So, and then
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think that's all I can remember. I think, like I said, I didn't really dive too much into the WiiWare stuff, if anything. So
yeah, because to bring back the topic to Xbox 360, when the Xbox 360 first launched, I don't believe the Xbox Marketplace was a thing. I think that came later on, because I think the Wii was the first one to start the Wii Shop, and then Xbox brought the Marketplace after. Am I right in saying that, or am I wrong?
I have to research on that, but
no, the Marketplace is at launch with the 360.
Yeah, I thought so too. Because like, without looking it up, I would think that the Xbox would have had the Marketplace up first because Microsoft didn't. Because Microsoft at the time had a lot more capital compared to Nintendo, so it wouldn't come to a shock to me if they're able to also open up a marketplace for the console itself before Nintendo did. And Nintendo, I feel like took a bit longer when I think they had their Wii Shop channel too when it first when the Wii came out. I don't know. That's something that we definitely need to look up and double check.
Yeah, so. I don't see, like, I Google Xbox Marketplace launch because they called it the Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Talks about the Xbox One.
So it came out on November 2005. So if you look at the Wii Marketplace,
when did the Xbox 360 came out? When
the Wii Shop channel launched on November 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was there at launch. I for some reason I thought it wasn't there at launch.
And then WiiWare titles start coming in on March 2008. So 2 years after the Wii Shop channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it wasn't there on launch.
James, I know you brought up like menus and stuff, like how like the menus used to look really clean on a 360, but even though that's true, I feel like I still prefer the Wii menu over the 360 menu, mainly because, like, yes, it's simple. It's not as, colorful as like the 360 one, the 360 dashboard. But
yeah,
I think what sold me over at the Wii's menu is the ambient music that they chose for it and stuff, right?
Yeah,
because like when you first boot it up, hit the A button, and then it gives you that whole intro with the music, and then it transitions to that wonderful ambient music that you just don't want to stop hearing whatsoever, bro. And then like when you go to the Wii Shop channel music, it gets even more, but it even gets even more catchy too. Like I don't know, like the music, they did a really good job with that, right? Like it keeps you engaged, have you going through various different things without the Wii and everything. I love it. I love it a lot more compared to 360. I think 360 they want to go, they want to get straight to the point where all right, you know what you want, get your games. Nintendo, they want to like add more flavor to it. Be like, all right, I know you want games, but like I want you to dance while you're buying your games. Yeah. So it's great. So
yeah, all the whole menu and everything that they had. I mean, honestly, like when it comes to like menu design, you can say the Wii was definitely more influential. I feel like in menu design.
I agree.
I feel like
it's still influential because people are still playing the Me channel music, bro.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, it's like a lot of things that you look at nowadays are very Wii-ish, right? From how, I mean, you look at, trying to think, like iPhones, for example, right? The app layouts and things like that are almost like the Wii channel layout. Everything was kind of like that in a row and stuff like that. And that's kind of how everything is nowadays. It's just that whole thing. So it's like, it's something that was there and it makes sense. And until today, like if you gave a kid a Wiimote, they will pick up on how to navigate it because it's so familiar still.
Exactly. Yeah.
Versus like the Xbox design, like it was cool. The third version of their like new screen, because they updated it and there was like a different version of it. It was decent. I felt like the second version, like the one right after the Blade system,
it was like tiles going in the background.
Yeah.
I remember, right?
Correct. Yeah, there was tiles, and it took away some features actually that some people were kind of upset on because there was like a whole like avatar section.
Themes, I think.
I thought they added themes.
I thought there were themes in the Blades. I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I had the Mass Effect theme. I remember because I would always use the Mass Effect theme because it looked cool.
Yeah, there was a Mass Effect theme. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, themes were cool though. That was something that the 360 did. That Wii didn't have, or PS3 really. I mean, PS3 you could put anything as your wallpaper.
PS3 did. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They did have themes. No, PS3 did it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It had full on themes. I thought only.
I bought a bunch of themes on my PS3.
Okay.
PS4 didn't, but PS3 did.
No, PS4 had themes.
I thought they just had wallpaper too.
No, PS4 had full themes because they changed their sound
effects.
effects.
Okay, then PS3 did.
Oh, okay, I see what we're talking about.
Yeah, PS5 did. Yeah. I don't remember PS3 having themes, but I guess it did. Because PS4
I had the Heavenly Sword theme on my PS3.
Okay. Yeah. So they had themes as well. Then Wii was the only thing that didn't have any themes at the time, but of course 3DS had it later on.
We had the Nintendo theme.
Yeah, I mean honestly, that's all that matters, right? But yeah, 360 was really good with what it did, and I played it. I would say maybe about equal time as the PS3. A lot of games I would get on 360 first, and maybe PS3 later, depending on like performance. My biggest issue that I had with 360 in terms of gaming was always that, yes, you would get higher frame rates and more stable frame rates, but you would lose. They basically had VSync turned off. So what would happen is you get a lot of screen tearing, and that would hurt my eyes. So I'll never forget this. I bought Dragon's Dogma on Xbox 360, and after playing it for a little bit, I just got nauseous, and I felt like throwing up because of all the screen tearing. Like my eyes are very sensitive to screen tearing. So I went ahead and traded it in and bought it again on PS3. And PS3 version, of course, didn't have that because it had VSync enabled. But that was like my biggest issue, I think, with 360 games overall. But for the most part, most games would look better on the 360 because they were just better optimized. They would run better usually on the 360 as well. But yeah, like I don't know, 360 was great, and Microsoft, yeah, they just went backwards after that, which was kind of sad. I've never seen somebody just go complete opposite direction of what they had going.
Watch The Price is Right on Xbox One.
Yeah, on Kinect, right? Hey, all right. I will say this: the Kinect was actually pretty decent. Like I did enjoy some of the stuff that I did play with the Kinect. It was
that should have been in our hot take episode.
That should have been. You're right. It should have been. Like it was pretty decent. Like for me, and my wife loved the Kinect because she loved being able to say Xbox pause and Xbox play every time she was watching something. That was so useful. And then I remember when I put away the Kinect because I got sick and tired of it being like there. She was kind of sad because now she had to go for the controller and like press pause and play on stuff like that. But it was very useful. I would say Xbox pause all the time, Xbox play. I never really used it in games because in Mass Effect 3, I remember you were able to control like your party members and tell them to do stuff, and I never used it because there were specific things you had to say, and I would forget what I had to say. So I was like, you know what, it's not worth me like looking up all this stuff.
I don't like the Kinect because it killed Sonic Riders.
Wasn't that only for Kinect, right?
So Sonic, it was called Sonic Free Riders and stuff. And it was
Oh.
only for the Kinect, and I'm like, bro, why did they do this? And like in the funny part, and the funny part is that the game that came before that was Sonic Zero Gravity on the Wii, and the game was fun, right? So and it's still yeah.
Sonic Zero
What would you say?
Gravity. I don't remember that. Sonic Zero
Yeah,
Gravity.
Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Yeah, that's on the Wii, and before that it was just Sonic Riders on the GameCube. So though the Sonic Rider series was great until like it kind of crashed and burned with the Sonic Free Riders on Kinect. And I'm like, why did it end like this? I hope they kind of come back with a reboot eventually, because I love Sonic Riders. It was great. It was fun. So
the Kinect wasn't just good for gaming. It like people use that for like 3D scanning themselves for like 3D models too. So
what wasn't that
technology? It was great.
I mean, that is true. They use it for like on PCs and stuff like that. I think I remember the memes coming out on, I believe it was the Xbox One version of the Kinect, where NBA 2K allows you to scan your face, and people were getting like these horrible looking faces as their characters. It was like a whole thing that people were just laughing because it was supposed to scan your face and give you like an accurate representation of yourself, and it wasn't. But you're right. Like the Kinect outside of gaming, like a lot of people did use it for things because the sensors it has are very similar to, I don't know, like I mean, basically what you would see like on a Face ID, right? Like on a phone, to unlock. Cause it's very similar sensors and features that had. But I will say like outside of gaming, I think is probably where it benefited the most because I can't think of a game that I played that I utilize it in. Now that I think about it, outside of like Kinect specific games, like Kinect Sports was fun. It was basically Wii Sports, so I did play that a lot with like my wife and like the family. What else? There was another game I played. I can't remember.
Just Dance Star Wars Edition.
No, I did not play that. I did play the other Star Wars game though. The one where you actually get to be a Jedi. I forgot what it's called. But that other Star Wars game that was for Kinect, I did play that. And then,
I know. I think I know what you were talking about. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, and then I played. Shoot, I just had it in my head and I forgot. There's another game.
Child of Eve, kind of cool on Kinect.
I never played that one, but I know a lot of people thought that liked that one. Shoot, I had it in my head. And I forgot it again. Fable, the Fable one. It was like a rail shooter. That one was pretty cool as well. The other cool one that was there was I think Steel Battalion came back out for 360, and you could use the Kinect for that. Do you guys remember Steel Battalion?
I remember Steel Battalion.
No, so Steel Battalion was
the gigantic controller.
Yeah, it was crazy. So you would get this whole control setup, and you had like a bunch of controls, and you're supposed to be in a mech, and it simulates you actually driving the mech. So you had like different controls that did different things. It was crazy. It originally released, I think, on Dreamcast.
Capcom.
Was it by Capcom? I didn't know that.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember the publisher. All I know is that controller was what made it famous because you actually had all these mech controls that you had to utilize to actually play the game. But
it's Capcom.
Was it? Okay. So Steel Battalion with the Kinect you didn't need the controller. Instead, using the infrared sensor to try to simulate it, it didn't work that great though. Because you really need the physical controllers to be able to play that game. But that was another good one. I don't think there's anything else out there that I really used it for. Did I remember? I mean, that's really like I would say all my memories of it. As far as games that are memorable, they had a lot of good first party games, right? Like Halo 3 ODST, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, Infinite on Discovery. Those are technically second party because they were Microsoft published them and they were developed by other companies. But I mean, you had like Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and Judgment, Halo Wars. I thought Halo Wars 1 was great. Halo Wars 2, not as much. What else? Fable 3. I enjoyed Fable 3 and Fable 2 as well. I think people like Fable 2 more than Fable 3. What else? There was that Fable game that's played like Crystal Chronicles. Man, I have it on my Xbox Series X. Shoot, what is it called? Fable something. Let me see. Because that one was pretty cool too. It was an Xbox arcade game, but it's a Fable game where it's pretty much Crystal Chronicles. You go by levels, go through dungeons, level up your characters, and all that other good stuff. Fable Heroes. There was that one. What else? I mean, I guess there's the Forza games if you care about that. I guess that's really it when it came to that. Like, those were kind of memorable first-party games.
We covered a good breadth of topic, a good breadth with this topic, I would say. We got around to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's, my only wish is for the future is get that 360 emulation better on Steam Deck so I can play a lot of these games. I think it's kind of weird how, we have Switch emulation that does better than Xbox 360 emulation.
Yeah, that's shocking to me. Like it's just so weird how Nintendo literally got hacked before the Nintendo Switch got hacked before the damn thing even came out, and I'm like, what the frick, man? And then the emulation, the progress for that was just so abnormally fast. It's crazy. I guess maybe when they were trying to reverse engineer it, the architecture was a lot easier to deal with compared to 360 and PS4 because and PS3, including that, because PS3, for when it comes to RCP CS3, because of its architecture, it took a while for them to actually get things right when it comes to adequate performance. Because you would think, okay, yeah, it's on a PS3, so my PC should be able to handle it, but it doesn't work like that because it's not a direct PC port. You're literally telling software to pretend to be a PS3 in order to run those games itself. So it's a whole different beast that you're messing with at that point. But yeah, it's interesting to see how.
Fan.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying it's the coding of the game is not the same for the architecture it's on.
Well, is it 360 power PC?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that 360 was like so hard to develop too, wasn't it?
I thought it was a PS3. I thought it was a PS3.
Yeah, PS3 was harder.
Yeah, the PS3 because of the Jaguar CPU that it had in there. It was a CPU that can be, if you utilize it correctly, it could have been more powerful than the 360. But the problem is the developers couldn't utilize that CPU, so the games on the PS3 wouldn't run better than the one on the 360, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, it's like the same example as like with emulation and stuff, because when you're trying to reverse engineer the architecture for PS3 or 360 and stuff, or reverse engineering anything, it'll take a bit, right?
Yeah, Power PC, which was in Wii U, or not Wii U, I'm sorry, it was in Wii and GameCube. So you would assume the same people who did those could be able to could have been decent enough.
Could have been the logic for 360 that was a bit more complicated compared to GameCube and Wii U. So
yeah, it's weird because even Xbox OG emulation is not like there, which is kind of awkward.
X86 though, that's weird too.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean the original Xbox was basically a computer. Like if you took it apart, it was basically like parts they put together.
Very easy to program for. What was the programming language of it?
I would assume C. Either C, C++, or C Sharp, but definitely probably not C Sharp. Probably C++ or C. It's one of those.
No, there's another thing that like the Xbox used that made it easier to program for. It's not. It's a different thing. Maybe it's not programming language. That's maybe not the right term I was looking for.
Yeah. The CPU was an Intel Pentium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Well, it was a mixture of C, C++. Let me check here.
But you would think, because even OG Xbox, you would think the emulation would be way better off now if it's using x86, but it's not.
Maybe that's most.
Well, yeah, x86 would be like the architecture that it has.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of x86. That's what I was thinking.
Which is,
the architecture.
Which is common on everything, yeah. Where 360 went to Power PC, but like, you know, GameCube and Wii had Power PC. So it's like, you would think, you know, it should be, but like, I guess like Ash was saying, there's
could be different across all those systems.
Yeah.
Or it's not could, it is. If they don't want to give away their secrets like that, you know. So from that point, when it comes to emulation, you have to literally have to reverse engineer the entire thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, which that's another can of worms, you know. So.
Yeah. So, that's Xbox. Let's hope there's better emulation for it in the future, because there's a lot of games that still deserve to be you know, played on there. According to this Wikipedia I'm looking at, it says before the launch of the Xbox 360, several alpha development kits were spotted using Apple's Power Mac G5 hardware.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, yeah, the emulation for 360 is moving along. It's just is not as fast as you expected, right? Like for this. Listen, I feel like the
marketplace closing down, it's gonna ramp up.
I hope so. It's just to me, it was so funny how the Switch emulation just like spiked when it comes to like progression and stuff. To me, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully, like fans said, like it should ramp up a little bit, and for the sake of preservation of it, if anything, right? So.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see in the future of that. Well, Xbox had some good stuff going on for you, and I think it's about time you go to sleep. Because I don't think too many people have their Xbox 360 plugged in. But, you know, a lot of memories on the Xbox 360. And like I said, great piece of hardware. I think what it brought to the table, especially for console gaming, I think was good. There's a lot of great stuff that it had that I enjoyed. The whole demos thing you mentioned earlier was great. You know, just the interface, or rather how we kind of communicate, you know, through gaming was a huge plus, you know, through Xbox messaging, you know, notifications, party chat, all that other good stuff. Great set of features that they had, and it's kind of a shame to see like where Xbox is right now, because they're not on the same table. Like, most people don't care about Xbox no more, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think that's all we have for today. Does anybody got any last minute things they want to share or talk about?
No, I can't.
I don't think so.
I'm not really following the news like that anymore ever since I kind of deleted Twitter and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I don't really have anything to add.
You're not missing any news, really. There's like nothing going on right now, really.
No.
Let me guess. More drama, and let me guess. More drama. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
That's mainly the reason why I got rid of it. So
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, nothing new that I've seen outside of like Geekdom 101's Dragon Ball stuff that he's been talking about. Other than that, it's not much going on. So you're not missing
the whole rights battle with the Dragon Ball licensing between like Capsule Corp, ran by Yoku, and versus Shueisha or something like that. Hopefully Yoku is able to get the rights for Dragon Ball, so that way we can start getting the ball rolling for more content for Dragon Ball or something like that. So, well, yeah, I think that's what I can remember of anything. Ultimately, the family members of Akira Toriyama has the final say on who should have the rights to it, I think. So.
Oh, there is one last thing that I forgot to mention for the small news is and that is there might be a Tales of Xillia remaster coming out.
Oh, I think Brian mentioned that last time.
Yeah, that was a hot off the presses.
Yeah, which I can't wait for that, because it's been stuck on the PS3 and I've been emulating myself for a good bit now. So I'm like, PC port time, please.
It was great. I owned it. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I sold it. I want to say I sold it like last year because I don't have a PS3 anymore. And like, it's one of those things that like it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was great. And it's, you know, kind of pointed the direction to where Tales is today with Tales of Arise. But Xillia was good, and I heard Xillia 2 was even better.
Yeah, it's even better.
Yeah, I never played Tales of Xillia 2. My brother did though. I know he said it was really, really good and he enjoyed it. Always wanted to, but never got to it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all we have for today. So I guess we'll end the podcast here. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We're sitting at 1,095 subscribers, so close to 1,100. Every bit does help out. Share the channel. I do want to apologize. I did not actually do a video this week. Very busy, a lot of stuff. Made things complicated. So hopefully I will have a video up this week and getting back to normal, because it's just been lately a lot more difficult for me to do videos. And I hope to get a little bit of, more normalness, I guess, with one lack of better words. I hope things get a little bit just, more normal for me, so I can go ahead and continue doing videos and making content and all that other good stuff. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, follow on Twitch. We do simultaneously stream on Twitch. We will definitely be back this Thursday for the group stream. We did not do one last Thursday. It was my wife's birthday, so we didn't do any stream last Thursday, but we will definitely do it this Thursday and continue playing something, whether it's Elden Ring or if we try to go back to Dark and Darker, or we figure out something else out there. We will do a group stream. But yeah, thanks for watching. Fan, where can I catch you at?
You guys can catch me at Phaneckswhy on Twitter, X, YouTube, Twitch, all the socials.
What about you, Ash?
You can catch me at Ash Destroyum on YouTube. Still haven't uploaded anything yet, but I might have something cooking, because I'm still using the brand new key light I'm having, and it's a lot better. So I'm like loving this so far.
Nice. How about you, Brian?
Red_so_deep on Twitter.
Nice. And as always, you can catch me here at the Random Encounter, where I talk about all things pretty much gaming related, whether it's hardware or software, whatever it might be, and of course the podcast that we have here every Saturday. My name is James. Thank you, Fan. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Bryant. We'll catch you guys next time.